If you hit it down the middle and still make more than your share of bogeys and doubles, it's probably your short game that's costing you strokes. Getting your chips and pitch shots closer to the hole will save you strokes with the putter. Let's take a look at how we can get you closer to the hole. The pitch shot is generally used from 20 yards out when you have less green to work with, fairway or rough or bunker to carry, and you need to have the ball land softly. The setup and swing are similar to the full swing with a slightly more open stance. The pitch shot typically uses higher lofted clubs like a sand wedge or pitching wedge. On a pitch shot, the ball will be in the air longer and will land possibly with some backspin, so it won't roll as far as the chip. It's important to keep your weight slightly forward and your hands ahead of the club head to promote a downward strike. Experiment with shortening your backswing to see how that affects distance. If taking your arms back to parallel produces a 50-yard shot, you can be confident with that on the course. Spend some time pitching and chipping to specific targets and watch your scores drop. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
It's time for Kings Weekly.
He's got the bucket!
Recapping the week that was, previewing what's ahead, and looking at the biggest stories surrounding the team. It's Kings Weekly. Here's your host, Chris Watkins.
Happy New Year's Eve, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to Kings Weekly. What a week of Sacramento Kings basketball this was. We had the doubleheader Tuesday and Wednesday against Denver. Those games were incredibly exciting. I can go a full hour just about those games. And then you throw on last night's game, Friday night, New Year's Eve, Friday. You know, it's a good time to go out at 7 o'clock game, get out at 10 o'clock. The beam is lit. What a night. What a night it was last night for the Sacramento Kings following an incredibly disappointing week a couple weeks ago where they saw losses to the Hornets and to the Wizards. And I think people were starting to feel down. You know, that was a real – we talked last week on this show, and that was a real gut punch to a lot of Kings fans. And I think the Kings felt that, those were games that they just shouldn't have dropped. And I think – we're going to look at the end of this season, and we're going to look back at that stretch and the fact that they went 3-3 on this homestand. You know, the last two games have been great, incredibly fun, some of the most fun that I've had in Golden One Center. But you're going to look back on this 3-3 homestand and be like, I kind of feel like we left some on the table there. And we've talked about this has been a routine theme throughout this season is – every single game matters at the end of the year. And, different implications. Maybe at the start of the year, we were thinking that a stretch like this would affect, maybe they don't get a play in. And now, I mean, as we're currently sitting right here, the Kings are the number 5 seed in the Western Conference. And yes, there is a whole lot of seasons still to be played. But, we could be talking maybe at the end of the season of like, oh, maybe this 3-3 homestand, those 2 games that you could argue the Kings shouldn't have dropped, that could play some real implications at in terms of the seeding at the end of the season. So, it was, all in all, they finished 3-3. They took care of business the last 2 games, but definitely leaves a little bit still to be desired, and that's not great. That is not great. I want to almost like full stop the show. It is New Year's Eve. I'd be remiss. It's my grandma's birthday today, so I got to say happy birthday to my grandma.
Happy birthday, Grandma Watkins.
Grandma Barbara. Yes, Barbara Watkins. Yeah.
Barbara Watkins.
Shout out my grandma. Happy birthday, Grams. I had to find a way to fit that into the show because it's a busy day today, so I might not have time to reach out, Grams, but love you. Happy birthday. And the thing that I really want to talk about today, I should say. It's not the nighttime yet. Well, I'm very excited for tonight, but I got to wait a couple more hours. The thing that I really want to talk about this week is the return of the Golden One Center, or the Arco Thunder, that is the Sacramento Kings fans. It was, like I said, these past 2 games have been some of the most fun that I've had in this new arena. I mean, obviously, Arco has so many classic memories of the glory years, but also random moments like LeBron James's first game and Tyreek at the horn and things like that. But I think Golden One Center's finally starting to kind of build an identity, and we're starting to build. We're finally starting to build memories in this building, and these past 2 games have been tippy top for me at the list of Golden One Center moments. I mean, the crowd has just been incredible, and the Kings have definitely given the crowd something to cheer about for sure. I mean, for the last 2 games, for them to come down literally to the last shot, the last seconds of the game, you're always going to get a crazy crowd reaction. But last night especially, I mean, all the ups and downs. That fourth quarter was as good as it gets in terms of excitement and back and forth action. I mean, I don't know how many lead changes there were in that fourth quarter, but it was definition of back and forth and back and forth. And then finally the Kings end up with the win at the end. But the crowd, I'm telling you, if you were not in the building last night, and if you have not had the opportunity to be at a home game this season, do yourself a favor and come on out to Golden One Center, because it is something special. And we haven't seen what's going on in a very long time. I mean, for the crowd to have something legitimately great to cheer about and be excited about on a night-to-night basis, it really feels like as we head into this new year, there's a real energy and a real sense of confidence that this team is building at home. And it's the Kings traditionally have been a great home team. They, you're talking about, in the glory years, the Kings would lose 5, 6, maybe like 9, 10 at the worst at home throughout an entire season. And we're not there yet. The Kings are 11-7 so far this season at home. But they know that this crowd is special. I mean, we've heard in all the post-game interviews, and it's a little bit cliche for a player to be like, oh yeah, the crowd was great tonight. But just the amount of times that we've heard De'Aaron say, yeah, I've been talking to a lot of the new guys, Malik, Kevin, and they had heard, when you're in the NBA, and obviously you visit all the arenas in the NBA, guys talk, and I'm telling you, crowds are not the first thing. Oh man, how about that? The OKC crowd, they're really that's not the first thing they talk about, but it absolutely gets mentioned in there that, holy hell, like, people in Sacramento, it doesn't matter if they're a 30-win team or, like we're seeing now, a potential playoff team. These guys are going to be loud and come out every single night and raise the roof. And it's been incredible to watch. And Golden One Center, it feels like the Kings fans are back, and they've absolutely had some good things to cheer about. Here's what Kings point guard De'Aaron Fox had to say about what they hope to accomplish at home this season.
If we go 500 for the year on the road, that's great. That's a big positive. But for us, we have to be better at home, especially knowing the type of fans that we have. Like, this should be one of the best home court advantages in, truthfully, all of sports. Like, we sell out games night in, night out.
Yeah, I mean, there you have it. In all of sports, and like that's I mean, it's true. First off, like, I mean, Kings fans, they're starved at this point. It's been 16 years of really not much to cheer about. And for you give them just a little bit of good basketball, something to cheer about, and they run with it. I mean, this season has been so fun. The lighting of the beam, how the city has embraced that and have, again, ran with it and turned it into memes. And now, like, opposing teams come in and they're posting memes about, oh, no beam tonight. It's been really, really fun. And I absolutely do agree with De'Aaron. Like, it feels like we've seen in the past, during the, as I call them, the glory years, the early 2000s, this place was known as Arco Thunder, as one of the best home crowds, not only in the NBA, but like De'Aaron said, in all of sports. And if this team continues to win games and, give this crowd something to cheer about, I absolutely foresee us falling right back into there. And I don't know, Nate, do you have, where are like some of the best, just if someone were to say the best crowds in sports, what are like some of the,
I think when you think of crowds, you think of the Raiders, it's not really the same anymore.
Right. The Oakland crowd.
Yeah. The Oakland crowd. Like, yeah,
Oracle had the same.
Oracle
kind of
had it got crazy. I mean, the We Believe Warriors was pretty nuts.
Right.
But that was such like a small segmented spot. I don't think Warriors fans. I guess I'm out of touch too. I'm sure a lot of people don't know how diehard Kings fans are.
Right.
I was just thinking about Sauce Castillo and how that was the peak of Kings memes before memes, I guess, were really a thing. I mean, we latch on to anything we can, and I think, to put it cynically, it's because the Kings aren't the greatest franchise.
Right.
So, yeah, I can't think of a crazy fan base. You think of the Philly teams like the Eagles, but they're more notorious. You think of, I guess, Bills fans, but that's more. I don't know if they're just getting coverage now.
You say Bills fans?
Yeah, because they're not,
like Bills Mafia jumping
Bills,
off of or jumping onto tables and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking NFL specifically. But I think the issue is with fans, like, they don't cover fans unless the team's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
absolutely.
Because why would they? Who cares about Kings fans? When they're, when the Kings, have 28 wins, because it's way more fun when they're winning and doing well. That's when, we're going to get ESPN showing the beam, showing a full crowd screaming when Kevin Huerter hits that shot last night. It's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's been incredible, and it's been really fun to see. Like I said, if you have not had the opportunity to come out to Golden One Center, you need to. I know tickets are inflated at the moment, and they're probably not going to get much cheaper if this team keeps winning. But it has been one heck of an experience.
You're not going to be able to seat hop either, like the last few years. If you buy those $20 tickets, you're sitting in that $20 seat. You're not going to sneak down to the lower level. That's not happening.
Shout out everyone. I was never that person, but everyone else that I know is absolutely a seat hopper. And you're definitely right.
I got a friend and his dad. That's all they do.
Yeah.
They are so sneaky.
People
I'm not going to out them. But
some people are really, really good at it. Like I've seen some people by top of the top of the arena, and then at halftime you look at their Instagram story and they're like 6 rows back, and it's like, all right, how did that happen? That's absolutely true. And I think that they have had 7 consecutive sellouts in their last for this nice little homestand. I mean, we just went on a 6-game homestand, and I can't think of a game that hasn't been filled. And usually my gauge, me and Frankie always look at section 222, which is the closest section to the Sierra Nevada Draft House, I think it's called. And there were times in the past couple seasons where that section 222, legitimately you could count the people in that section on your hand. Like it was under 10 people for sure in section 222. And now you look up there and middle of the first quarter, and 222 is completely packed. So people are absolutely showing up, and like Nate said, like you're not going to be able to just finesse your way up to some $300 seats like the good old days at Arco. I would do it at Arco a little bit, but that's because there was just about nobody else in there. We have to hit a break here. I know our clock is all messed up, but we're going to try and get right back on schedule. Coming back from the break, we're going to talk about the Kings' one-hand wonder, Domantas Sabonis, and just how incredible he has been. You're listening to Kings Weekly right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Welcome, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store with a question. How is the game of basketball like the Good Feet Store? And the answer is the very best basketball players do it all. Shoot, defend, rebound, they do it all. And the Good Feet Store does it all too. Good Feet manufactures their own line of arch supports, over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities. Good Feet arch support specialists at every store personally fit every customer for free with no obligation. Lastly, Good Feet sells its arch supports exclusively at over 200 Good Feet stores nationwide. Sore feet, aching back, knee or hip pain, even plantar fasciitis? When nothing else works, come to the Good Feet Store and experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville off Nut Tree Parkway by Sprouts, online at goodfeet.com.
It's the Hanley's Davis Kia year-end sales event. Kia Season of Giving Back with our biggest inventory of the year. Most models in stock now. Get our best price now with no hassle, no headache, no games. Here's how it works. Go to HanleysDavisKia.com. That's HANLEES DavisKia.com. Pick the model you're interested in and click Unlock Instant Best Price. It's that easy. No hassle, no games, just our best low price. Special financing available. Look for a great deal on a new Kia without playing games. Go to HANLEES DavisKia.com. Pick your model and click Unlock Instant Best Price. That's it. Big savings, great deal, and no hassle. Our biggest inventory of the year in stock now. Hanley's Davis Kia, located at 4318 Childs Road, just off I-80 at the Mace Boulevard exit in Davis. All of us at Hanley's wish you and your family a very happy holiday. All financing subject to credit approval.
Fox into the front court, into the paint, pulls up, trying to tie it, around, a two-bouncer, no good. Kept alive by the Kings, back to Fox, floater, way short, no good. Rebound, grabbed by Harrison Barnes, swings to Herter, three on the way. He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. 30 points, a season high for Herter, and it's 9.2 seconds to go in the ball game. It's also a career high for Kevin Herter. His previous best came when he was playing for Atlanta in the 2019 campaign at Philly when he had 29.
That is the voice of the legend, Gary Gerald, the G-Man. What a shot, man. I mean, what if way to finish that game. G-Man mentioned there, Kevin Herter, career high, 30 points.
He's flirted with that this year, too, with the Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier on in the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said in the postgame last night that they used to joke around with him in Atlanta that he was allergic to 30. So I think it's been a common thing for Kev that he's just not been able to get over that hump and get to that 30 burger.
Can I just break down real quick? Please. That shot, I believe the possession before, or maybe two possessions before, he missed that exact same shot.
Yes.
And they go right back to him, and I'm watching that. I'm in bed laying down because I got to be up super early, and I'm watching that on my phone, and they give it right back to him. I'm like, oh, is he going to take this shot again? And immediately, no thought at all. Keegan kicks it out to him. Yeah. He takes the shot, hits it, and my heart starts pumping, and it's like, oh, I guess I'm not going to bed yet. But this dude, it just so much confidence. He just goes right back. He just missed the shot. Yeah. Exact same shot. Yep. And he hits it.
Yeah, I talked about that on the recap show last night, that same exact thing where it's like he had just missed that same exact shot. And hey, man, shoot or shoot. Got to be like a goldfish. Forget it. And it's just about the next shot. It's not about the previous one. And Kevin Herter is the definition of a shooter. So I'm sure he definitely has that mindset of like it really doesn't matter what I did in the past. It's about this next shot, and this next shot. All that matters is you hit the biggest three of the game, right when the team needs it. And Kevin was incredible last night. 6 of 10 from three, 30 points, career high. Just absolutely incredible. It's been a common theme that the Kings, you get Domantas Sabonis to show up, you get De'Aaron Fox to show up. If you're an opposing coach, I don't know how you game plan for this team, because it could be, like I say, those two are gonna show up, but then are you gonna have like what we did on Wednesday where Malik Monk drops 33 points, or are you gonna have like we had last night where Kevin Herter drops 30 points? We've also seen Harrison Barnes recently have himself some 20-plus point games. There's so many different options. How about we can't forget about TNT TD? TD hasn't played. He hasn't even played the past 3 games. The Kings have so many different weapons that they can throw at teams. Like, just so fun, so incredibly fun, and it's been a blast to watch.
Keegan's just waiting to pop off too.
Yo, how did Keegan's dunk last night?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for that one.
De'Aaron's dunk.
There was
dunks.
There were so many. Last night was. I can go all day. Yeah. Like I said about last night, there was 4 dunks that were just incredible last night. There was the Keegan dunk to start things off. Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
Yo, we talk about De'Aaron catching a body. Lauri Markkanen murdered Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
That incredibly cringe Bleacher Report video that they made a couple years back where Larry Nance dunks on somebody and then like turns into Patrick Star for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's like exactly what went through my head when Lauri Markkanen threw that down, because it was chest to chest with Domas, and he threw it down on him.
It happens.
And then I think literally the very next play also had a nice finish. Rudy Gay came out of nowhere and tried to throw it down on, I think, Rashawn. That was good. It was good to see Rudy. I mean, it was crazy to see. I saw him warming up before the game, and I think I was sitting next to Matt George, and like we both had the same thought at the same time of like, how weird is it, do you think, for Rudy to be back in this building after he was literally like, we pointed to the spot where he blew his knee out. I think it was his last game as a Sacramento King. It might have not. He might have played. I think it was his last game as a Sacramento King where he just blew his knee out. And it's like, that spot happened right there. And just how weird that must have been for Rudy. Really, I mean, Rudy tried to throw it down on Rashawn, and then De'Aaron's dunk was. You watch it live when you're at the game. You don't have the benefit of replays and all that stuff, so it's just the live viewing of it. And when it happened, I was like, that was a crazy dunk. It was a little weird because it looked like even De'Aaron was surprised by the fact that he could throw it down. But it was nasty in person. And then I get home last night and I'm rewatching the highlights. And on TV really did it justice. The broadcast view of that is incredible. Like,
NBC replayed it 7 times going to break. They played it from every different angle, and then immediately I opened Bleacher Report. It's right there, so you knew it was. Yeah,
it was incredible. It was so good, and it's one of those where like it happens every so often. If you watch enough sports or basketball highlights, you'll see it happen a couple times a year. And last night it was exactly this, where he makes contact with the defender, and somehow it like elevates him to another floor. Like you make content and you make contact and then it bounces you up another level. And it's like, oh, I'm even higher than I would have thought. And like I said, it looked like De'Aaron was surprised that he was even up there and was just like, I'm already here. I might as well just throw this in. And it was an incredible dunk. And the celebration as well, the Dave Chappelle of him like hanging on to the rim and then just like slowly falling down.
Game blouses.
Incredible. I did, I'm going to pull Mike Brown here. I did wear my my Dave Chappelle print socks. So I don't know if you can see those, but I made sure to come correct today. What an incredible game. I promised we were going to talk about Domas' hand, but I got lost in the sauce. So we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. You're listening to Kings Weekly right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
O'Reilly. Don't risk getting stranded with a bad battery. Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery does need to be replaced, we'll help you find the best battery for your vehicle and your budget. Don't wait until your battery is dead. Get it tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet. The faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than your
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young,
Eldridge.
I want to be that song that gets you high.
And so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $85. Tickets are on sale now at SacktownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Coors Light, E2 Family Winery, and Xfinity.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pie Insurance.
We heard about Pie Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pie a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypie.com. Plus, with pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, which means no additional bill if your business grows.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pie.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pie, or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypie.com. That's trypie.com.
Kings to inside. Fox powers down a two-hand flush from the left baseline, and he was fouled. And my goodness, that one came out of nowhere. And Fox just viciously attacking the iron, and he'll get an and one. He posterized Kelly Olynyk. Oh my goodness.
That's a phenomenal call. That is incredible stuff from the G-Man. Never to be outclassed, never to be outdone. Gary Gerald, that is Gary Gerald's call of the De'Aaron Fox throwdown. Probably going to be one of the biggest plays from the Kings this year. Definitely one of the bigger highlights. I was actually, speaking of highlights, I was watching the NBA.com top 10 highlights from last night's game. And Sacramento Kings were, or at least the game was featured 3 times. Keegan Murray. Actually, I think it was 4. Keegan's dunk, Laurie's dunk, Fox's dunk, and then the game winner. Kings had 4 plays. 4 of the top 10 plays in the NBA last night happened in Golden One Center. So, again, please be sure that you show up or at least watch these Sacramento Kings games, because you're missing out on some real fun right now. Let's talk about Domantas Sabonis. What a guy. So Tuesday, Kings play first day of their back-to-back against the Denver Nuggets. And it's questionable whether or not Domantas Sabonis is going to play, because he'd hurt his right hand at the end of, I believe it was at the end of Saturday's game. My timeline's getting a little messed up, but Domas was questionable heading into Tuesday. It was a real will they, won't they play him all the way up until it was a real game time decision. We saw Woj put out a tweet early in the week that Domas had his hand x-rayed or MRI or whatever, and they were still waiting for a conclusive result, and it was undetermined whether or not he was going to miss time, if any, I believe was the wording that Woj used on his tweet. And so it was just up in the air. We were in a situation where it was going to be a night-to-night basis, where it's like, okay, Tuesday, is Domas going to play? Oh, he didn't play Tuesday. Okay, well, here's Wednesday. Still questionable. Yesterday's questionable meant he didn't play. Today's questionable. Is it any more likely? Are we just going to keep doing this until he eventually does play, or are you eventually going to give us a time frame on things, or what was going to be the case? And we found out. I mean, Domas didn't play Tuesday. Kings played pretty well without him, all things considered. They had a 20-point lead in that game. That didn't last. But I thought they played well without Domantas Sabonis, especially considering that they're playing against a 2-time MVP in Nikola Jokic, and they're doing center by committee in that Tuesday game, where you see Alex Len, you see Rashawn Holmes, you see Trey Lyles get a good amount of minutes at the backup center. I thought that was interesting. I thought it worked pretty well offensively. Defensively, it was rough. It was rough. You know, Trey Lyles is not a center. He's not going to be able to guard many 7'2", 300-pound all MVPs, all world guys. It's not really his fault. And I think that's kind of what the Kings realized is like, we're not going to be able to guard this guy anyway. We might as well make it hard for him on the defensive end and try and get a mismatch. And I think it worked. I haven't even mentioned the fact that Jordi Fernandez coached those Tuesday and Wednesday games because Mike Brown was out with COVID, just to add to the craziness that was this week. That was interesting, and it was great to see Jordi get those games in against his former team, Denver Nuggets. It's kind of like a sports movie almost. It's like such a perfect moment for Jordi, and that was really cool. His post-game speech on Wednesday, incredible. Do yourself a favor and look at the Sacramento Kings YouTube page and watch Jordi Fernandez's post-game comments or post-game locker room speech that he gave to the players. It was incredible. I don't think we can play it on these airwaves because it was a little bit spicy language, but NSFW for that one. Great stuff. But let's talk about Domas. Anyways, Domantas Sabonis plays Wednesday after not playing Tuesday. I watch him in the pregame warmups. He's got his hand wrapped up, his right hand wrapped up, and I was pretty nervous. Just looking at it, it's not like it's not protective at all. It's just a bandage, and he's got some pre-wrap under it. So I know his hand is like incredible. I'm sure it's wrapped as tightly as it can, and you can almost see like his thumb is turning purple because there's no circulation going to his thumb. But the dude quite literally has a broken thumb and is just playing through it. It's crazy. I think let me get the official wording of his injury. He has an avulsion fracture of the ulnar collateral ligament in his right thumb. The ulnar collateral ligament, also known as the UCL, in his right thumb. His non-shooting thumb, thankfully. I think that's a big reason why he's able to play through this injury is it's not his dominant hand. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he has one hand, two hands, 6 hands, 5 thumbs, 2 thumbs, 1 thumb, a half a thumb. It's the same guy. It's incredible. It made no sense. And he's going against a 2-time MVP, comes out after missing Tuesday's game. Not sure how he's going to feel in the swing of things. I wasn't too concerned about will he be able to catch the ball in the post or dribble with his right hand. That was, I kind of figured he was going to favor his left hand. It was more of like the defensive aspect of it. Like, the things you can't control, the split seconds decisions where it's like Jokic is driving. Oh, I just instinctually know to put my right hand out there and try and swipe at the ball. Like, would he be able to get by that? And if that did happen, or if, Jokic is huge and he's a pretty, not clumsy, but just, he likes to flail around, throw his arms around. Would he accidentally get his thumb hit? And then that causes him to get out of the game. We saw none of that. There was no signs of, if you didn't know that Domas had any hand injury, Nate, would you have thought that he was injured at all?
I would have no clue, especially if you just took a look at the box score.
Right.
Because I don't know if you heard, he didn't miss a single shot. And I actually have it's one of those kind of convoluted stats, but I still thought it was interesting. It comes from Clutch Points. Sabonis went 12 for 12, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He's the first player in NBA history to shoot 100% on at least 12 field goals. Mm-hmm. So you got to take 12 shots and attempting 2 threes. So he made both his threes, right, and he made his 10 other shots too with a broken hand or broken thumb. So it's just stupid. It's incredible. And he was, he's flirting with the triple double every night. I thought he was going to get another one. I did too.
I think really he had 7 assists going into that fourth quarter. I was like, oh, this is easy. In the bag. Yeah. No, he's been incredible. I mean, the 2 threes aspect was huge. I mean, his shot looked so good. He's so confident with that 3-point shot. I never thought we would get to the point where he looks that comfortable with his 3-point shot. It's fun. I had not seen that stat that you just said, because the only stat that I saw was one that wasn't as finite as that. It was just that he's the 3rd player in NBA history with multiple perfect shooting performances on, like you said, 12 or more shots. So you throw in the threes, and he's the only player to ever do that. But there have been 2 other players who have just gone 12 for 12.
Let me guess.
Yeah, please.
Is Wilt's one of them?
Always.
Wilt's one. Okay, that's easy.
The other one kind of surprised me.
Is it Oscar Robertson?
It is not.
Okay.
It may be like people who saw him play, this is pretty obvious, but Karl Malone did it twice.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know Karl Malone was that efficient. Karl Malone obviously is a fantastic scorer.
Ginormous,
I think he's number
strong man.
3 all-time in NBA all-time points. So it's no surprise that Karl was getting buckets, but for him to be 12 of 12, again, Domas is the 3rd player in NBA history with multiple.
Let's just say those guys weren't shooting threes though either.
Oh, no, and that's where your stat comes in. Where it's like none of them. Wilt was not. Let me tell you, Wilt was not spotting up. Right.
Yeah.
Wilt was not spotting up anywhere.
I think that's what makes his 100 more impressive too.
Right. Exactly. I mean, we could go. Look, if we want to talk about Wilt stats, the fact that. I mean, this isn't a Wilt stat, but the fact that Luka Doncic the other day, and let's not turn Kings Weekly into any form of Luka Doncic conversation, but the fact that Luka Doncic the other night had a 60-point, 20 rebound, 10 assist game, the only time that's ever been done in NBA history. There's just a general rule for NBA stats and NBA records. If you do something that no one else has done, obviously that's a huge accomplishment. But just about every single thing that can be done on a basketball court was done by Wilt Chamberlain. So if you get any record and you're like, there's been 2 players all time who have done X, Y, Z, there's probably like a 90% chance that one other player is Wilt Chamberlain. So
100%.
Anytime you're doing anything and Wilt Chamberlain is involved, it's a good thing. That's just a good rule of thumb. No pun intended. Rule of thumb.
Nice
Come
one.
on. But doing pretty decent. Let's see here. Let's talk about. I want to know what you think about this, Nate. Last week we were talking about possible trade targets for the Kings, and I think we saw a couple last night in Utah. Some guys that I just couldn't help but imagine. What if this was our answer at backup center? And I think we've seen Richaun Holmes re-enter that backup big rotation. He seems to be the go-to. He had two of 3 good games, I would say, this week. He had a good that first game against Denver, and then last night I thought he played really well against Utah. But I don't think that they found the answer. I don't think that I feel like they're playing Richaun right now just to kind of get his value up and reestablish that this guy is just not a good fit on this team, but he can be valuable to you. And when I was watching Kelly Olynyk last night, and Kelly did not have a good game. He had 5 points, I think 2 rebounds, and 2 facials. Yes, Keegan got him, and De'Aaron got him.
Yeah.
The thought of Kelly Olynyk as this team's backup center, I don't know if Kelly's starting right now for Utah, but I think he would be a fantastic backup center for the Kings. He doesn't really address the it's funny because I was actually talking with Brendan Nunez about this last night, and I think he put it perfectly, where it's Kelly Olynyk doesn't necessarily solve the holes that we have at backup center. He's not a good rebounder. He's not a shot blocker. He's not anything special as a screener or anything like that, like Domas is. So he doesn't really do the things that you would really want our backup center to do. But what he does do well are things that the Kings already do well. And instead of buying in on trying to patch up a weakness, it would almost be doubling down on what you do well. And I think that there's like a nice balance of always trying to find, hey, let's make sure that we're still accentuating what we do well while also trying to cover up some holes. But I don't think Kelly Olynyk's going to be the answer as a rim protector at all, which this team desperately needs. But just the thought of like, if you could run out a 5-man lineup of Fox and Monk, Herter, HB, and Kelly Olynyk, and just, play essentially De'Aaron Fox and 5 shooters, it intrigues me. It definitely intrigues me. Do you feel the same way about Kelly? I know Kelly's a pretty divisive person. He's also a Gonzaga center. Not that people don't like Domas, but I know Gonzaga centers sometimes can be controversial.
So Olynyk, I have a bad taste in my mouth from him from what he did to Kevin Love in the 2015.
Pulled his arm out of his socket.
Yes.
Not great.
So I know everyone does like stuff like that happens all the time, and you can debate all day if it was intentional or not. I think it was intentional. It looked
definitely
looked bad.
Yeah.
And that that was 6 years ago now.
Yeah, 2016, I think.
So I've been sour on him for that ever since. Just It's fair. A little thing.
Very fair.
Yeah,
it was very dirty.
And yeah, he had a pretty weak night last night.
Yeah.
He did put in almost 30 minutes, -4.
He's like
1 for 2 from
10,
3.
I think in 3-point percentage right now in the NBA. He's like 45%.
But presumably, I don't know this for a fact. It's not right in front of me, but I assume he's not shooting at a very high volume.
He might.
But we would be a great shooting team with that lineup. You just, everyone would be a threat from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
And that 5 squad probably wouldn't be on the field or on the court together, a lot, maybe all of them together for 6 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah, I mean, the backup big right now is probably playing like 13 to 15 minutes a game. Like you're literally only playing when Sabonis isn't on the floor.
The issue I'm thinking of too is like he's starting for Utah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
what's Utah going to get back? It seems like they want to compete this year. It seems like they want to be in the playoffs.
Right.
In the offseason, it seemed like they wanted to blow it up. So, but this team is, decent. They can make the play and they could be a decent team.
Right.
Probably won't do any damage in the playoffs if they did get in. But just him, I don't know. I'm not. The 3-point thing excites me, but everywhere else, I don't know.
No, I feel that, and I think you bring up legitimate concerns, and I don't think Kelly Olynyk, like I said, is the ultimate answer. He's shooting 43% on 3.5 threes per game, and he's averaging 28 minutes a game, so he'd probably be more towards that 20, 18, 15 minutes per game if you were to be our backup center, and you're probably not going to get the same level of production that you're getting when he's playing almost 30 minutes a game. So
and we got guys in our YouTube chat too. This has been a recurring thing almost all season at this point, but Keita too, bringing Keita.
Yeah,
they keep bringing up Keita, and I get that. Everyone knows he's just not ready, and it's hard to give him minutes when this team is looking to win.
Right.
So
they're already kind of going through those lumps with Keegan Murray, where it's like you're balancing the development versus, like you're saying, trying to win games. Yeah. Exactly. And at some point it's like, are you trying to be a rebuilding? Or are you trying to win ball games here? And I think we all know that the objective of this season is to win ball games. But I thought it was interesting, just seeing Kelly Olynyk out there, Lauri Markkanen. I don't think the Kings would try and trade for, and Jared Vanderbilt as well. I thought he's on a very low, cheap contract, and he provides a lot of length. So I was just watching the Utah Jazz yesterday, and I was kind of Birdman hand rubbing, licking my chops a little, being like, hey, we can get one of these boys.
I never knew that was Birdman in that meme.
Oh, the Birdman hand rub
behind the tree. Yeah.
No, not behind. I don't think it's him behind the tree. There's just a bunch of gifs of Birdman.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
I don't know. He's plotting something.
Yeah, so. He's up to something. He's always up to something.
Coming back, we're going to look ahead to the week that will be in Sacramento Kings basketball. You're listening to Kings Weekly right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Kings insiders Frankie Cardoselli and Chris Watkins give you all things Kings on the return of the Roar podcast.
With these two sitting next to me now, certainly feel comforted.
You can sign up for free at sacktownsports.com.
Remember, you don't have to be rich and famous to shop at Sharif's.
That has been true for over 40 years. Hi, I'm Ali Sharif.
And I'm Omar Sharif, and we'd like to wish everyone a very happy new year.
We're so grateful to all the people that we've met and friends we've made over the years.
Our family started Sharif Jewelers, and we've grown up in the stores, enjoying every minute of it.
Thank you, Sacramento, and we hope this year is your best yet.
Sharif Jewelers, a proud partner of the Sacramento Kings. Light that beam.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's going on for Chrysler's Big Finish event?
We are finishing the year strong with $10,000 off MSRP on both the new 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cabs and Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs. Plus, no payments for 90 days And when you come in, ask about our Hoblet exclusive 4.99% financing for 84 months.
Are you sure that's for both the Laramie and Bighorn?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And it gets even better. Right now you can save up to $2,500 off MSRP on the all-new 2023 Wrangler Unlimited 4xE, both Rubicon and Sahara. But you better hurry because the $7,500 federal tax credit ends December 31st.
Well, hurry in before the savings is gone. Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period. 10,000 total net savings after 5,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discount on Laramie and 6,000 factory rebates and 4,000 dealer discount on Bighorn. Rebates may include $2,000 price or capital bonus cash. Must finance with price or capital qualify and up to $1,500 in Hoblet RAM coupons only while supplies last. Special 4.99% financing for 84 months on approved credit through Traverse Credit Union. Must have 760 plus FICO score to qualify. $1,415 per $1,000 borrowed. $2,500 total net savings on Wrangler after $1,000 factory rebates and $1,500 dealer discount. $7,500 income tax credit offered by third party subject to change without notice. 10 NHMC dealer for details.
This holiday season, give the gift they'll really love. A new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Happy Honda days are happening right now. Trade in and trade up. Get top dollar for your trade and take advantage of low APR financing and great lease rates at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2020 total new car sales from American Honda Motor Company Zone 1 report.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 19th at Cal Expo. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear, find the best destinations, get expert advice at free seminars and activities. See Toyota's powerful Tundra. Free entry for youth 15 and under. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 19th through 22nd at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See local Boost Mobile store for details.
Tune in every Wednesday to the Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross show for Wine Wednesday, where they whine about plays, calls, everything from the past week in sports. Wine Wednesday, brought to you by E2 Family Winery.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2022 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When it comes to your sewer, what goes down must come out. Get a detailed video inspection absolutely free with any sewer drain cleaning and keep life flowing in the right direction. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Don't miss your final chances at $50,000 with Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge Big Guy Vince Bloom and Sacktown Sports Pick'em Contest. Win a Twin Peaks gift card and a chance at $50,000 at the Hard Rock Casino Resort at season's end. Visit SacktownSports.com for details.
Five. Game winner, Kevin Herter's three-pointer with 9 seconds to go. And the Kings have advanced. Harrison Barnes standing at the front court to our left. He'll be the trigger man looking for Fox. 2 defenders there. Pops it out to Sabonis. That's it. The horn sounds. The 8-game losing streak at the hands of the Utah Jazz is no more. Sacramento gets the victory, 126-125. Game winner, Kevin Herter's three-pointer with 9 seconds to go.
I did not know that we were on an 8-game losing streak to Utah going into last night. I feel like we're gonna break a lot of those this year, where it's like, oh, the Kings haven't beaten the Atlanta Hawks in the last 15 years or something like that. This team feels like there's some slump breakers, so excited to see them continue to do that. I want to shout out Megan in the YouTube chat, who is absolutely correct here. I can't believe I didn't mention this. Walker Kessler is a fantastic potential backup option. He's been incredible for Utah this year, averaging 6 points, 6 rebounds in 18 minutes. That's the exact kind of production that the Kings need from their backup big. Also averaging 1.8 blocks in those 18 and a half minutes that he's playing. That is the exact kind of guy that the Kings need. We also saw Walker Kessler throw some dunks down last night. I'm a big fan of Walker Kessler. I just was looking at his college stats because I remember him. I watched a lot of him watching Jabari Smith Jr. last year. And I just remember him being such a dominant, like a ridiculously dominant force for Auburn last year. I was looking at his block numbers, 155 blocks in 34 games last year at Auburn. That averages 4.5 blocks per game in college for Walker Kessler. That's an incredible shout. I don't know if Utah would be willing to part with him. I think they just received him. He was a part of the Rudy Gobert trade. So, he's a young piece. I don't know if Utah would be willing to part with him, but that's a great shout, Megan. I definitely agree with that. Walker Kessler is a perfect option right now for the Kings at backup center, though he might not be a backup for much longer in this league. Let's talk about the week that is coming up here for the Sacramento Kings. It was a good week, 2-1 this week. I definitely didn't see that coming. I think I predicted that they would be 2-1, but if you would have told me that Mike Brown was going to miss 2 of those games, Sabonis was going to miss a game, I definitely would have said that would not have been the result.
Real quick, we have a poll going on in the YouTube chat for how would you grade Jordi Fernandez's stint as head coach? Just letter grade A, B, C, D. What would you give it? I'd put more and pluses, minuses and stuff, but you can only put 4. So
I would put it. I mean, it's tough. It's like I think even Coach Brown said yesterday, not that Jordi didn't do much, but like Coach Brown was still giving him the substitution patterns and all those kind of things. So how much of it was really Jordi is kind of yet to be seen. But I'll give this is kind of on a curve. I'll give him an A based off of circumstances.
Okay.
Like the fact that he came in Tuesday learning that he was going to coach that game. He went through like all the normal things he would normally go through as an assistant coach that day, but just ended up, normally, Jordi warms up Trey Lyles before the game. He did that on Tuesday. And that's where typically Mike Brown would be making last minute game adjustments and stuff like that in the locker room. Jordi was going through all that normal stuff. So I think it was kind of just all happening quickly at once. The fact that he got his team to a 20-point lead at that point, at some point in that first game, great on Jordi. The fact that he had the team bounce back on Wednesday after an incredibly not sad, but disappointing loss after being up 20, for him to instill the confidence in his team to come back in the third, fourth quarter down 19. I mean, that's great. Like, it would have been so easy for the team to fold during that fourth quarter and just be like, oh, these guys are just better than us. And we saw, they beat us yesterday when we had a 20-point lead. They have a 19, 20-point lead today. Why should we think we're going to come back? And Jordi kept the faith in them. And, that's not easy to do. Not everyone is willing to play for their coaches like that, especially, it's like the substitute teacher being in. Are you going to be the same student when the main teacher isn't watching? Though we definitely know Mike. The visual of Mike Brown watching those games from home continues to just make me laugh. Like, I cannot imagine how insane Mike Brown was at home watching those games. He talked about it a little bit in the pregame press conference yesterday. Just like, Mike Brown is incredibly superstitious, like scary superstitious. He was telling us how what I did learn while I was watching the game on the couch is, just because I sit with my right leg over my left leg and tug my ear 2 times, and I think he was like, I wear my lime green underwear, doesn't mean that Domas is going to make 2 of 2 from the free throw line. and just rattled off like 2 or 3 things like that, where it's like, bro, you're really like that? Like that's unhealthy. That is not a healthy way to live your life, like with that much lack of control. Very surprised to see Mike Brown, someone who's so detail oriented, kind of, believe that there's things that he can't control, which is maybe why he's so detail oriented, to try and control everything. But I'm no psychologist. Anyways, let's look forward to the week that will be Kings basketball. 3 games this week. I will be joining you next Saturday before the Laker game. So we will not be talking about that. But on Sunday, tomorrow, they'll be playing the Memphis Grizzlies on the road after a 6-game homestand. They play the Grizzlies on the road on Sunday, play the Utah Jazz, the very same Utah Jazz we just saw last night. They go to Utah on Tuesday to play them. Ooh, excuse me. And then on the second night of a back-to-back, they fly straight from Utah back to Sacramento to play the Atlanta Hawks. We've played the Atlanta Hawks before. The Kings played oh my goodness, hiccups. We played terribly in that game. And I definitely expect the Kings to have some vengeance on their mind, because they kind of let that one slip. I mean, Trae Young took the game at the end of that one, but it definitely felt like they had a chance to win that one on the road in Atlanta. And for Atlanta to be coming back to Sac now, the return of Bogdanovic, I expect the Kings to be ready for that one. My matchup of the week, we got, like I said, tomorrow we got Ja Morant versus De'Aaron Fox. That's always prime time viewing. Got to make sure you're going to tune in for that one. Last time those two squared off in Memphis, what was it? De'Aaron had 32, 8 rebounds, 4 steals. Ja had 34, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. There was no Desmond Bane last time. He'll be back this time when the Kings play them tomorrow. So last time Desmond Bane played against us early in the season, he had 31 points. Look out for him to be the X factor tomorrow. The storyline for the week, as we blow through these, I think it's going to be, they've played all of these teams that they play this week before in the season. Atlanta, they've played them. Memphis, they've played them. Obviously, Utah, we just played. The Kings have experience against their next 3 opponents. How will they use that previous experience to better themselves in this following matchup? Memphis, this will be the 3rd time they play Memphis. You'd like to think both of these teams know what each other's trying to get to. That Memphis game early in the season, when Desmond Bane did play and dropped 31 in Golden One Center, that was the Kings' biggest loss of the season for a long time, and until they played the Celtics, and that was definitely the worst loss of the season. And maybe the Philly game was, honestly, but Memphis definitely gave the Kings a piece of work early in the season when Desmond Bane played. So it'll be interesting to see with Memphis kind of finally getting back to full strength. Jaren Jackson will be playing, Ja will be playing, Desmond Bane will be playing, how the Kings respond in that one. Utah, we just saw them the other day. I think the Kings continued to play no defense. However, the Jazz also play no defense. Will anybody want to play defense on Tuesday in Utah? And then Atlanta, like I said, I mean, that game was right there for the grabbing in Atlanta, and nobody besides Malik Monk showed up in Atlanta for the Kings. Really big struggled night for De'Aaron Fox, especially when you consider how easy and how many times we've seen De'Aaron and Domas both drop 20 plus routinely. It feels like nowadays. Neither of them reached the 20-point mark last time they played Atlanta. I'm going to say, for my prediction for the week, feels like it's going to be a lot like this week. I'm going to say 2-1. I think the Memphis game is going to be tough. Just the fact that Ja and Desmond Bane are so lethal, and you really don't know which one of those guys is going to take the reins. I think the Kings don't match up all too well with Memphis. I think they probably drop that one, but I expect them to win the next 2 against Atlanta and against Utah on that back-to-back, with Utah being the first, Atlanta being the second at Golden One Center. Can't wait. Cannot wait, especially after the week that we just had. Should be a fun one. I'll be here next Saturday, same time, same place, right here on Sacktown Sports 1140. You've been listening to Kings Weekly. Happy birthday, Grandma, and Happy New Year to all those watching. You all have a good one. My name is Chris Watkins. For my man Nate. I almost called you Kyle right there. Nate Goodyear. Goodbye. Have a good one. Have a
Good year.
I know. I do that every time.
Jason
I do that
did that
every
too.
time. That's an old Nate. There was an old Nate here. That was Nate Goodyear. Nate Littlefield. Gosh, let's wrap this thing up, please. Where's the wrap it up box? Y'all have a good, happy new year, and let's try and be better next year, huh? Chris Watkins, Sacktown Sports 1140.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
He scores the triple. Kevin Herter from downtown.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening